Hi friends, I'm Patrick, and welcome to Tail Talk. You know, we all have fears. Some are easy to talk about, others are the kind we quietly carry with us for years. Fear can show up in all kinds of ways. It can keep us from trying something new. It can make us avoid certain situations. Sometimes, it can even convince us that we're alone in what we're feeling. But what if the first step towards healing wasn't getting rid of fear? What if it was simply talking about it? Today, we're joined by a very special guest, Shirley Strawberry from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Shirley is sharing a personal fear she's carried with her since childhood, how it has shaped her life, and what it means to take the first step towards moving forward. When fear takes the wheel. We'll also be joined by Dr. Linda McGhee, who helps us understand where fear comes from, why it affects us the way it does, and how healing can begin one small step at a time. This is a conversation about fear, not the kind that makes fear disappear, the kind that helps us move forward anyway. So find a comfortable spot, take a deep breath, and join us for this episode of Tail Talk, because every tale has a story, and every conversation is a chance to heal. Let's get started. This week's episode, When Fear Takes the Wheel. We wanted to have a talk today about fear. In this case, fear of me. I don't know how it happens. I walk around with a smile all the time, and people are afraid.
It's childhood trauma, right? Dogs just are not my thing. I'm sorry. Nothing personal, but they're just not my thing. I like a lot of stuff, but I'm fearful of them. They make me nervous.
Jeez, tough crowd. Man, we've been here for 5 seconds.
It was meant with love, but yeah, sorry.
All right,
Sorry,
so
Patrick.
What first brought on this fear?
Well, I don't know what first brought it on, but I just know all throughout my childhood, I was fearful of dogs. I mean, we had in our neighborhoods, we had German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers. Those were like the dogs back in the day. And they were just always so scary to me. I mean, I've gotten chased home by dogs. I've had to outrun them. I've had to jump on cars. I've had to, my running skills were pretty good, Patrick, because I've outrun a few dogs. Now, one time, I think this is what did it. This dog it was like I could feel his nose on my leg. And he almost got me, but I made it inside. But it was just rough. I mean, I have a picture of my mom and my aunt and me as a little girl in this pretty little white dress and everything with a dog by my side. And I'm like crying. So, yeah.
So, that being said, because I completely understand, I have my own fears as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
What are you afraid? You're not afraid of people.
No, it's the vacuum. It just starts up making noise out of nowhere, and it drives me nuts. I can't stop. It scares the nuts out of me.
Okay, I can see that. The floor vacuum?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Thank you for understanding that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because yeah. Okay, I got that. Out of nowhere.
So, for you, did it start up out of nowhere, or was this something that you've had for a long time?
Yeah, I've had it since childhood. And as you can see, I am not a child anymore. So yeah, it's been quite a long time. I just get nervous. I get anxious around dogs. Now, this might sound crazy. I actually like dogs. I think they're beautiful animals. I think they're smart. I admire people who have animals and who love animals, but I'm just not that person. they should be a little calmer, I think, around me, because it always scares me when they jump you. You know, it's like dogs are so friendly and loving. I get it. And they always want to jump on you and sniff you. That part freaks me out. No, it's jarring. It's just jarring to me.
I understand that completely. And sometimes I can't help it. I just get excited when there's new people around. I just have to get a hug in.
Yeah, what is that? You're just looking for love. Yeah, okay. All right. You're just looking for love, but I don't see it that way. It just instantly turns into fear for me. I'm just scared. I just want to get away. Please. I always tell the owners, please just get your dog. Please. I just can't stand them jumping on me. And that's terrible. I know. And I feel badly saying that to you, Patrick. Sorry.
That's okay. I can understand. Mm-hmm. That's how it is. Everybody has their own fear and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be afraid of it. But for this case in particular, Dr. Linda, do you have some advice, or what do you think about this?
Well, the fear that Shirley is talking about has to do with the fear of dogs. And if it gets to the point where it's really strong, then it becomes a phobia. And what she describes is, running away, being very upset and crying. That has risen to the level of a phobia. And it has a name. It's fancy. It's called cynophobia. And I don't know, Patrick, if you knew that cyno means dog in Greek.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Right? But there is help for cynophobia and fear of dogs. So, Miss Shirley, we can talk, but there are most people that go and they get treatment for it, get better.
Well, where do you go to get treatment?
So there's a variety of places. So one of the therapies that people do is called exposure therapy, right? And so in graduated stages, we kind of expose you to dogs, but not necessarily real dogs to start off with. And so the theory is that the more you're around like things that are like dogs, the less sensitive and upset you are until you build up to the point where you can be around a real dog. And then you're around a real dog in stages. So that's called exposure therapy. There's other ways that people work against or work to get better for fear of dogs. There's something called, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, cognitive behavioral therapy, where we work on the thinking and the behaviors. There's hypnotherapy, where people hypnotize you. There are other forms of psychotherapy that helps you to talk through and work through your fears and to understand that we're not going to minimize your fear. We are not going to say that it doesn't exist, or we're going to.
It's very real to me.
Right. Of course it is. Of course it is. But the point of therapy is to help you to realize that possibly you could do it while being scared. And there's also like mindfulness tips that help people be around things that they fear, like yoga and meditation and breathing. And this is not just, these things that I've named, they're not just for fear of dogs. They're for anxiety and fears generally. And sometimes when people are afraid of dogs and they're doing therapy, sometimes they even get their medications that might help.
Quick question. Do you feel like this is a mental thing or physical? Like you're afraid to be around them, or is your mind already thinking that you're afraid before you even see the dog?
Yeah, great question. I think it's a little bit of both. Mentally, I can be walking down the street and I can see a dog and it can start. If the dog gets closer to me, sometimes I make a choice. Either I'm going to stay and just walk past the dog and act like I don't see it, or I'm going to cross the street and just not even deal with the dog at all. So I think it's both mental and physical. The last time I had an encounter, it was about a week ago. I was at like a little art festival and I saw a dog coming and I just crossed the street. I couldn't even deal with it. I just crossed over.
Makes complete sense. Sometimes your mind has an automatic way of protecting yourself. So if it feels like you're in danger, it'll try to get you away as soon as possible.
Right. That's also called a fight or flight. When our nervous systems are activated and we're already on guard, then the flight kicks in, right? And that means that your systems are on really high alert, and the maneuver and the way that Miss Shirley sort of reacted to it means that both her physical and mental are triggered. But the phobia is a mental condition, and a lot of the conditions that come from the phobia are physical, the shaking, the crying, the walking across the street.
Yeah. I haven't cried yet, but yeah, I tighten up. I do. I really do tighten up. I have friends who have pets, and, we're not going to stop being friends just because they have pets. They have dogs for pets. But what they will do is maybe put the dog in its cage, or, put him upstairs in a bedroom or something. And I hate that. I don't like that because I feel like I'm invading the dog's space. This is their home. But then I appreciate it because I don't know how I would react if the dog came out and jumped on me. I've had that experience before. Right. So yeah, it's kind of a crazy way to be. And people are looking at me like I'm the one that's, I guess I am. And I have friends who dismiss it, or they're like, oh, but she's so cute. Just rub her.
Right.
She's so cute.
Right.
And yeah, she's cute to you because she's your dog, but I really have this fear. I don't want to have fear. I believe in facing my fears, but it doesn't negate the fact that I have it.
Do people say their dog is friendly? Is that often a response that they have also?
Always. Yeah. Always. Oh, she's fine. She'll love you. Don't worry. Just hold her, or just let her sniff you, and then she'll be okay. But that freaks me out.
I know. Right. That brings up the fear, right? And you're not ready to deal with it. And I wanted to just say that, a lot of times the fear of dogs, Patrick was trying to talk to you about where that came from, but it sounds like that you had some negative experiences.
Oh, very much so. A dog almost bit me. Dogs used to be loose in our neighborhood all the time. And if I saw one, I would start running. Everybody says, don't run from a dog, but I didn't. I had to run. I trusted myself and my running skills. I thought I could beat the dog home, and most of the time I could, but one time I almost got bitten. This has been since childhood.
Right.
This didn't just start. It's been since I was a little kid. I don't like it. I really don't, because like I said, I believe in facing my fears, but it's been quite challenging. And I've been able to live up until this point without one, but I could just, sometimes I just picture a nice, cute little fluffy dog. I like poodles because they're really smart, running around the house and all of that. It's not that I don't like the dog, but it's just my fear. It seems to, be overwhelming.
Well, you're fit right into the category of how people get a fear of dogs. They get it because they've had a negative experience. They're anxious generally. Sometimes people even get it from their family members. Genetically, they have phobias that run in their family. So you fit right into the category of people that, have these fear of dogs from childhood.
I read somewhere that it was 7 to 9% of the world population or something have a fear of dogs. And I didn't even know. That it was that high. But I remember one time I was at a friend's house, a coworker's house for Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, one of them, and another coworker was there as well. And they had the dog in a room because, they knew that we didn't particularly want to be around the dog. So they put the dog up in the bedroom. And so one of the kids came out and opened the door, not knowing what was going on. And the dog got out, and my friend who was there jumped on the couch, and she screamed and screamed and screamed. And I was like, well, I don't think I'm there in terms of my fear, but I do have a fear. I know there are different levels, and a lot of people have them. I didn't realize it was 7 to 9%.
I'm not surprised by that number at all. And, maybe even it's a little bit low, but what you just said pointed out that people's degree of fear differ, right? And it also depends on things like your general mental health, processes generally, right? Whether or not you're feeling good about things in your life sometimes impacts the severity of your fear of dogs.
Yeah.
And so depending on how severe it is determines what the treatment is.
Now, you just made me think of something. I didn't realize when you asked me earlier, Patrick, about, was it mental or physical? I didn't realize this was considered like, I won't say an issue, but part of mental health, good mental health, having this sort of fear. And we all want good mental health. So what do I do now? I mean, now that we know that I have this fear of dogs and, how do I would like to get rid of it eventually. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever go so far as to actually have a pet. I imagine having a pet, but I would like to move toward, getting beyond this.
One of the things that I advise is to, under the guidance of a therapist, is to look at things like this exposure therapy. So what they might do is they might even start you off with just a picture of a dog, right? And it just sits on your desk while you're working. And you look at the dog. It sounds funny, but it works, right? It does sound funny. And then sometimes people start with maybe like a stuffed version of Patrick, like a dog toy, right? That sits in your house. And then, you might progress to going to live dogs. So you go somewhere where the dogs are behind the fence and you go where they're playing and you stand like a big distance away, but you just observe them playing and observe them being. And then you can work your way up to, someone petting a dog that's really, really safe, that has been approved for this kind of thing. And you sort of, you get that understanding that, right now that fear in you is telling you if you touch that dog, something bad is going to happen. Exposure therapy does is that it helps you to calm down in stages so that you can get there.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, doctor, but you made me think, but that's what it is. It's like, why am I so afraid of dogs? But it's because I think they'll bite me. That's what it is. I don't want to get bitten by a dog.
Understandable.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with a picture of me on your desk?
All right. I can do that. I have a desk. I have a room. I know exactly where I'll put you so I can look at it every day. All right. Okay. Well, you're cute, Patrick. So that won't be
already
hard.
Friends. Look at that.
That won't be hard. All right. I'll start there. And then what?
And Patrick, I have some special tips for you to help your humans, including Shirley. So you can be the best friend that you can be by letting the human, or Shirley, lead. So you're in a room with her. You stay across the room from her and you let her come to you, right? If they move to pet you, you can be an extra special friend by just allowing it and not getting overexcited, but letting her know that you appreciate it. So if you let her lead and you let her know that when she pets you, you're calm and you're affectionate, but in a sort of a toned down way, and then gradually build up where you show her more affection, then that's as helpful as you can be.
That sounds great. And I would love to do that. Just get a nice little pat every now and then.
That's what it'll be, too. We'll start there because, we'll start there. I have to get used to the feel of a dog and all of that because that's part of it as well. But the main thing is the biting. I don't want to get bitten by a dog. I don't know what'll happen, but I don't want to do that, but I can take your picture on my desk. Right. All right. So exposure therapy. That's a good one. I like that one, Doc.
And one of the things that you're experiencing also is a little bit of post-traumatic stress. because you think that, what happened before where dogs are nipping at your heels will happen again. And some of the fear comes from not being able to control the dog's reaction. So if we could go at it in a way that's safe for you, right? That we can sort of talk about the issues that are underlying, like the fear, the control that you lose when this fear comes upon you, and that behavior of dogs is unpredictable, then I feel like that we can work through with exposure therapy and get you to be able to tolerate dogs, and then moving on from there to see if you could actually not like them, but like their company. Because you like them now, right?
Yeah, I do like them. Yeah.
Whether you realize it or not, you've already taken your first big step today, just having this conversation.
Okay. Well, I'm happy about that because it is something that bothers me, because it seems like everybody in the world likes dogs but me. That's how I feel. I feel so alone because everyone I know loves a dog. They love dogs. I mean, love them like people, but I always feel alone in that area. I really do. So to have friends or to not feel so alone, well, I think that would be a step toward in the right direction as well.
Well, that's part of the fear, is thinking that no one is like you. But you named it yourself. You said up to, 9% of people fear dogs, or you are not by yourself. And there's even a lot of people that don't like dogs that don't rise to the level of a phobia. You're not alone, right? And that's one of the things that we wanted to sort of highlight today, is that everyone has fears, and your particular fear is the fear of dogs. And a lot of the population has that same fear, but that there's help out there.
Yeah. And, I'm a single woman. I'm just going to throw this in, Doc. I'm a single woman, and a lot of my girlfriends walk their dogs, and, that's a good way to meet guys. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, Miss Shirley, you trying to do too much? You're trying to do too much.
Pros and cons list. You'll see it's a lot of pros for having a dog.
Why? What's it for me?
You're trying to do too much, Shirley. You're trying to get a dog, a date, everything at the same time.
Look, I don't have a lot of time left, okay? But this should be fun. All right. I'm going to definitely think about this. I'll get some help in that regard. I believe in therapy. I think therapy's great, with the right therapist and all of that. So exposure therapy, I'll start there. I will start there. Mm-hmm. Crawl before you walk. And then I'll walk my dog. Yes. And meet someone with a dog. Yeah. And that's the other thing. You're single. What if you meet someone that has a dog and then you don't like dogs, or you're afraid of dogs? Then what? That relationship is going nowhere. We're all off topic now. But anyway,
Miss Shirley, you're not going to get me on the dating. I absolutely refuse. That's not my lane.
But thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your help and listening to me and helping me sort this out. I really do. It means a lot to me, because I don't like where I am as far as, me and dogs, and I want to get better. I want to face my fears. So you guys, and thank you so much, Patrick, too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm glad we got to meet and get things straightened out.
I am too. All right, I'll give you a fist bump. Okay, that wasn't so bad.
See, we're moving fast now. We're not taking steps, we're taking leaps.
Thank you, Doc.
All right, so thank you both for coming in and having this conversation with me. I want to let you all know that this was great. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you gave me a chance. Before we go, if today's conversation resonates with you, we'd love for you to follow Tail Talk wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support our mission of bringing more mental health conversations, connection, and healing into the world, visit us on Patreon for bonus content, behind-the-scenes moments, and extended conversations that didn't make it to the final show. Every follow, share, and subscription helps us reach someone who may need to hear these conversations. Now, fear can be loud, it can convince us to stay where it's comfortable, avoid what scares us, and believe we're alone in what we're feeling. But as Shirley reminded us today, courage isn't the absence of fear. Sometimes, courage is simply taking the first step. Sometimes, it's having the conversation. And sometimes, it's just being willing to try. Thank you for spending this time with us today. Until next time, I'm Patrick. Sit, listen, heal.